is around.
Hello and welcome to the Tottenham America channel. Today, Spurs had to come from behind twice to take a point away with them after a 2-2 draw with Man United away at Old Trafford. Man United got off to a very quick start with Rasmus Højlund firing one into the back of the net with 3 minutes on the clock. Spurs then found an equalizer in the 19th minute as Pedro Porro put in a superb cross from a corner for Richarlison to latch onto. Just before the break, Marcus Rashford plays a 1-2 with Højlund and passes it right into the back of the net to restore their lead. Then, just 1 minute after the half, Bentancur fires a shot past Onana from close range as he gets his first goal of the season. More chances came for both Tottenham and Man United later in the game, including a huge chance for McTominay in pretty much the last minute of the match, which could have seen Man United take all 3 points, but his header went over the crossbar, thankfully for Spurs, and the match ended as a very entertaining 2-2 draw. Spurs still sit second. Spurs still sit fifth with 12 wins, 4 draws, and 5 losses, and United move ahead of Brighton into 7th place with 10 wins, 2 draws, and 9 losses. Spurs were pretty much dominating the whole entire game and possibly could have gotten more out of this result. However, considering we were missing some key players in Son, Deki, Bissouma, Sarr, Maddison, and even Lo Celso, this result is not too bad, and I think overall we played pretty well. Of course, dominating Man United at Old Trafford is not the easiest thing to do, but of course now with Man United with Ten Hag not doing very well right now, I think you were probably thinking we could have gotten more out of this, but honestly, I'd take this result. I think Spurs will take this result. Ange will take this result. We're still in 5th. We're tied on points with Arsenal, which is pretty good. Arsenal still have a game in hand on us, but you never know. They could lose. We could gain on them again. Of course, we're still going to play them a second time this season at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, and that will be a very crucial match in our season. Now, talking about the players' performances, I say Vicario in goal didn't really have much to do today. United didn't have that many shots on target other than the goals that they did score, but I'd say his distribution was pretty good. He distributed very quick, tried to get us on the counterattack, which is very good play from him, and I think he's been good all season, and he's been distributing very well all season. So yeah, decent performance from Vicario today. Pedro Porro, what a performance from him on the right-hand side of our defense. Yet another fantastic performance from him. He put in so many good deliveries, including the one that saw Richarlison score and the one that saw Kuti hit the crossbar right before the break. And he's just so high in confidence right now. I believe he's had no goals in the Premier League, but he did score in the FA Cup against Brighton. But he's up to 7 assists in the Premier League, which is very good for a right back, and he's doing incredible defensively and attacking wise. I'm just looking back at last season when we were thinking, oh, maybe he's not the right player for Spurs after his first performance against Leicester where we lost 4-1 and he did not have the best of performances. We were talking about how he is good attacking, but his defensive abilities were very lackluster, and I think he's improved on that so well, and his transition from defending to attacking is just so smooth. He can go from defending to attacking so quickly. That's exactly what we saw today. And I think for me, he was definitely the man of the match, the Spurs man of the match for today. Now talking about Kuti, another great performance from Kuti. He was our captain today because Son obviously on international duty and Maddison still injured. But Kuti, a great performance. Unlucky not to score from that corner where Pedro Porro put in that good cross right before the break. But he was very steady. I think as a captain, he controlled our back line and kept it in order. He also, I feel like he also controlled himself a lot, and he wasn't too reckless. He did not pick up a yellow card, which was very good. I know he does that a lot. He's often very reckless, but he controlled himself very well, and overall his defending was very good. Won the ball back multiple times, and his aerial in the air, he was also very good, winning balls and making sure that Højlund and Rashford did not capitalize on any opportunities, especially in the second half. Now talking about Van de Ven, who just came back from injury. I think it was a decent performance. He did get caught on the ball once or twice, but I think his tackles, especially in the second half, were timed to perfection. We did see him get very fatigued, and he started to cramp a lot towards the end of the game. I mean, which is kind of expected after being out for 3 whole months and then starting and then almost playing a full 90 minutes, which is a big task, and it was kind of expected. And then we saw Dragusin come on for Van de Ven, which he got his first Spurs appearance, and we'll talk about him later. Udogie on the left-hand side, I think he was pretty much the same as Pedro Porro. I have to say, he shut down Garnacho really well the entire game, didn't give him any room to work with. And also, just like Pedro Porro, I think transitioning from attacking to defending, or defending to attacking, was superb from him. He did go down with a knock once during the match, but he seems to be okay. And I think it's another great performance from the Italian. Speaking about now our midfield, I think Bentancur getting his first goal of the season after being out with 2 injuries, actually, an ankle injury and an ACL. I think it was a very well-deserved goal. He had a great performance today. Definitely the best player out of our entire midfield, since I think Skip and Højlund, I think they had a better second half. But in the first half, I think they were kind of at fault for Højlund's goal and kind of at fault for Rashford's goal. They were not coming back quick enough, and they kind of left our defense and Bentancur vulnerable. During Rashford's goal, it almost seemed like Højlund and Skip were marking each other, which was kind of weird. They were not defending properly, and they were kind of at fault for those goals. But like I said, in the second half, they definitely did much better, especially attacking-wise. I think they were attacking a little better. I know Højlund was a little wasteful, and he wasn't always driving into space or forward passing. I think Skip did that well, though. So Skip, a decent performance from Skip. Højlund was meh, and Bentancur was good. Talking about our attack, Brennan Johnson on the right-hand side, I thought he found himself in great positions. I think it was just that final touch that kind of lacked a little bit, which has kind of been his story this entire season. Not a bad performance. He was linking well with Pedro Porro on that right-hand side. Didn't really get many chances. He used his pace very well against Wan-Bissaka. Wan-Bissaka did do pretty well against Johnson, though. But not a terrible performance from Johnson. Richarlison in the center didn't really get many chances other than the header, which he scored. It was a beautiful header, by the way. Kind of just leaned back and into the far corner, or leaned forward and went into the far corner. Onana was nowhere near it, and I thought that goal took it brilliantly, and he's up to 7 goals, 3 assists in this Premier League season, which is very good, especially considering that pretty much the first 10 matches of the season he was non-existent and pretty much not performing well at all. Werner, a new signing, Timo Werner on the left-hand side, I thought he had a pretty good performance. Got an assist for Bentancur's goal. Obviously, it definitely looked like he lacked in confidence, and his finishing was pretty bad. He missed a pretty big chance he had on the left-hand side, where he was going against, I believe it was only Johnny Evans and Varane he was facing, or maybe only Johnny Evans, or Dallo it might have been, and he kind of just took it onto his left foot and then went wide. It was not convincing at all, but I think all he needs is 1 goal, really, to get his confidence back up, and then he'll be fine. He just needs 1 goal. That's all it's going to take for his confidence to get back up. But I think this is pretty much a good way to start his Spurs career. A good assist on Bentancur's goal, and I think he got himself into good positions, moved the ball well, and other than that, I think he didn't really have many bad sides to his game. He seemed pretty attacking. He wasn't really back passing that much, and he seemed calm. He was not I would say on the ball, he was not bad. Off the ball, he was great. I think that's one thing he's known for. He's not the best on the ball, but very good off the ball. Sometimes he's just going to make a run to off-settle the defense, maybe a run on the edge, which will allow another player to keep going and cut in. That's what he's good at, and I think good way to start his Spurs career. Now talking about our subs, we had 3 subs come on today. We had Brian Heel, who came on for Timo Werner, which was pretty expected because Timo Werner starting just after coming to Spurs, I believe he didn't even start a single match for Leipzig in the past 2 months, which is pretty crazy. And I think considering that, he did pretty well. Heel didn't really do much when he came on. He got on the balls a little bit. I think he was able to put in a cross or 2. Didn't really have a huge impact on the game. Dragushin, our other sub who came on in the 85th minute for a fatiguing Van de Ven, I think he got on the ball a little bit in the back and was passing around. I think he did well kind of in the later stages because Man United, especially later in the game, like the last 10-15 minutes, they were building some momentum. And we just kind of needed to keep hold of the possession, and that's what Dragushin did. He kind of just kept hold of the ball. He looked very steady on the ball, and he also looked high in confidence, which is very good. And I think he's going to do well as a Spurs player. We'll see how that works out in the next couple of games. But yeah, Dragushin did not come on for Van de Ven. Dragushin came on for Skip. It was Royale who came on for Van de Ven. Royale really did not come on for much, only was on for 5 minutes, so not much from him. But overall, a good performance from Spurs. I think it was a decent point to take away from Man United. And make sure you subscribe if you enjoy our videos and like this video if you want Spurs to keep winning and keep being successful. And until next time, come on, you Spurs!